Lady, can you keep it down? Try and get my Drake and Josh on.
Hello, Spider-Man fans. It is let's see, spectacular, amazing, superior, non-stop day in the neighborhood when we get some Spider-Man 3 news. And we do have a good amount of Spider-Man content to dive into today, because not only did we get confirmation of an MCU character returning in Spider-Man 3 for the very first time, we also finally stepped back into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, giving us a better idea to what exactly could be going down in Spider-Man 3. So I'm gonna need you webheads to give me your opinions down below with all this Spider-Man 3 content right here. What are you thinking is happening now that we've got this confirmation? This is such a huge cast, so many characters. I am really having a hard time trying to imagine how all of this is gonna make sense, but if anybody's gonna pull it off, it's gonna be Marvel. As well as don't be forgetting to hit that like button, because you know what? This desk ain't gonna last by the time Spider-Man 3 comes out. Alright, so the first thing we're gonna dive in here today is basically the confirmation that we're getting online of reports saying that Charlie Cox, who played the role of Daredevil famously in the Netflix TV series, is showing up in Spider-Man 3. Now, we've heard these rumors happening for a while. They were first reported by Murphy's Multiverse, a very credible website, but even when they reported it, they said it was a rumor. And you know, here on the channel, I rarely like to dive into rumors, but as of yesterday, we also got reports from comicbook.com where they're claiming that Charlie Cox has actually been spotted on the set of Spider-Man 3. Not only that he's wrapped his filming and everything that Daredevil needed to do in Spider-Man 3 is now complete. This is really insane news right here, especially when you pair this up with a couple of days ago when Kevin Feige was doing an interview with Collider and he was asked point blank, would you bring in Daredevil back with Charlie Cox in the MCU? And his response was literally just sitting in uncomfortable silence that only Savage Man Kevin Feige can pull off.
Is there any chance that Charlie Cox could be back as Daredevil? Or do you consider what happened with Netflix almost like an alternate universe?
You know, I look at anything that has happened before, whether it's our movies, whether it's Marvel Entertainment TV series, in particular, obviously the comics, video games, cartoons, all of it is available as inspiration for the future of Marvel. That's the way the comics have worked for 80 years. So we'll see.
Got it. I think a lot of people really loved Charlie in that role and are hopeful that he can find a way back. Got it. I'm not going to get any more.
So let's just round them up here, Spider-Man fans. We have not only confirmed Tom Holland, hopefully somewhere in this movie. We have Electro, played by Jamie Foxx. Alfred Molina coming in as Dr. Octopus. Doctor Strange coming in as the mentor role. We could add now Charlie Cox's Daredevil to that. All the previous supporting characters that we've had in the Spider-Man trilogy. And the extremely likely situation of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield showing up. All I have to ask is how? How are you gonna make this happen? As far as what this means though, I mean, this is kind of huge right here. Kevin Feige is willing to bring back those Netflix characters and shoehorn them into the MCU and make them fit. Who knows if he will actually keep their shows canon or just kind of ignored everything that happened in the Netflix series, because Kevin Feige had little to no say on what those shows were about, so they might do their own thing, bring them over to Disney Plus, give them their own show, or maybe their own made-for-Disney Plus movie. Still, I think we should tame our expectations, because now that we know Charlie Cox's Daredevil is showing up, I don't expect him to actually be in a Daredevil costume or even helping Spider-Man fight whatever's going on. I really do think it's going to be a quick 2-3 minute cameo of Tom Holland's Spider-Man, Peter Parker probably needing a lawyer to defend himself, goes to Matt Murdock for a meeting, things don't work out, or maybe they do, he points him in a different direction. It'll really just be the MCU's way of like, look, this guy's back as Daredevil, we're gonna set him up for something else, and this is our confirmation that we're moving forward with this guy. The only other character from those Netflix shows I want them to bring back so badly is Jon Bernthal's Punisher, and now that we know Kevin Feige has confirmed he's okay with Deadpool 3 being fully rated R and part of the MCU, what's stopping you from bringing in a fully rated R Punisher? Oh, yeah, I guess there's that. But the next big thing here going on in the Spider-Man universe that is really now eye-opening to where we're headed with Spider-Man 3 is we just had the premiere of WandaVision on Disney+. The first 2 episodes are up right now. I did do a spoiler breakdown where I give you my thoughts, I give you some Easter eggs, and I give you theories on what is happening here. Really go check that out and join me every Friday while I recap all those shows. But now we've also gotten the confirmation that WandaVision is basically the first part in a trilogy that includes WandaVision, Spider-Man 3, and Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness. And even with just the first 2 episodes of what we've been given with WandaVision, it is strongly looking like Mephisto is the villain for the series, and Mephisto definitely has connections to not only Wanda, but Doctor Strange, and definitely Spider-Man. You guys have heard me talk about this theory before, but even now it makes a lot more sense in the MCU. Mephisto is essentially the devil for the MCU, and his most iconic moment with Spider-Man is when after he reveals his identity to the world, he makes a deal with the devil to have the world forget his identity as Peter Parker at the cost of his marriage with MJ. At the time, this was a super controversial thing that happened in the comic books because it basically erased all the progress they were making with Peter Parker and Mary Jane. And we know the MCU has been no stranger to changing things or manipulating stuff to make it fit with what they're doing in their cinematic universe, but we already have the setup right here that Peter Parker's identity is out in the public. He's gonna team up with Doctor Strange at some point in this movie. Doctor Strange is probably very familiar with Earthrealm's devil, and that's where they could be leading us to once again have Peter Parker have a secret identity, or maybe make some sort of other deal that involves Mephisto. The real question will be then, since this version of Spider-Man right now isn't married, what exactly is he going to have to sacrifice in order to make that deal if they decide to go that way with Mephisto? Still, even if that doesn't seem to be the case because it's not been confirmed who the main villain of WandaVision is, we do know 100% for sure however WandaVision ends, it'll lead into Spider-Man 3 and Doctor Strange 2. I mean, Kevin Feige said it himself, and really the only clue he's given us is by saying the clue is the title of Doctor Strange 2, which is Multiverse of Madness. And yeah, it's looking like Spider-Man 3 is for sure gonna be dealing with the multiverse. I'm just really curious how they're gonna connect Wanda having this reality change, opening the door for the multiverse, and then Spider people are the ones who decide to jump out. Either way, everything going on in the Spider-Man world is still super exciting to me. I know we're all still wondering when we're gonna get a title, when we're gonna get a first look. I'm telling you, I don't think we're gonna be getting that till probably early summer. I still kind of believe that the title for Spider-Man 3 is a spoiler in itself, that it basically does reveal that it's concerning the multiverse, and it'll be about Spider-Man probably jumping to different dimensions. I know a lot of people are saying homeworlds, but it could be something completely different that it's like, oh, now we know exactly what they're doing in this movie. I want to know from you guys out there, though, how do you feel about Charlie Cox's Daredevil being part of Spider-Man 3? What do you think his role will be in the movie? Do you actually think he'll be suited up, or he'll just be in his lawyer outfit, helping Peter that way? And with everything we've seen so far with WandaVision, and knowing that it's going to connect to Spider-Man 3, what do you theorize are the hints for Spider-Man 3? Anything and everything, go ahead and leave your thoughts down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at 3C Film Review. As always, I'm Chris. Take care.